This is Detroit's Morning Answer with John Anthony on FM 92.7 and AM 1400. The Answer.
Good morning, Detroit. Detroit's Morning Answer with John Anthony. If you missed that first hour, head over to theanswerdetroit.com, theanswerdetroit.com. Sandra, I know I'm sorry for making you laugh this morning, but it is a hot dog and a hamburger, and I'm sorry for making you laugh so hard this morning. But, listen, here it is, right? There truly are moments that remind us that the threats against this country are not far away or distant. They live here, they walk here, they plan here. This week, 2 Michigan men were charged, accused of being inspired by ISIS and attempting to coordinate mass violence. And while the details should have been front-page news everywhere, they weren't. Instead, we saw the usual silence, downplaying, minimizing, and these half stories. We say we want secure borders. We say we want safety. We say we want communities protected. Yet the same agencies responsible for our national security often seem more focused on controlling the narrative than informing the public. So today we bring in someone who has been in this fight a long time. Michael Letts is the founder, president, and CEO of Invest USA, a national grassroots nonprofit that has helped communities across America acquire thousands of bulletproof vests and protective equipment for law enforcement officers. His decades of work have made him a trusted voice on police readiness, homeland security, border integrity, and the realities of frontline protection. My buddy, my friend, Michael, welcome back to Detroit's Morning Answer.
Well, John, it's always a privilege to be with you in Detroit. What a great place to be today. And thank you so much for what you're doing for this country and for making sure the truth is known. You're exactly right. This story is a very important story. Yet it's received very little coverage, and it's kind of mind-boggling as to why.
Yeah, and Michael, let's start right there. 2 Michigan men allegedly inspired by ISIS are being charged. What stands out to you about this case, and what does this tell us about the reach of extremist ideology inside the United States?
20 sleeper cells that we've identified across the country.
Wow.
And, of course, Dearborn, Michigan happens to be one of the hottest beds up. Of course, Dearborn, Michigan is known as a Muslim stronghold, shall we say. And that's where we've had a lot of these things, Islamic jihadists that have been identified, come from.
Uh-huh.
And so we've done an awful lot of monitoring. And, that's just the way it is, John. I mean, we're not living back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
So we do electronic monitoring, and here's what happened. We realized the only thing called pumpkin they use is called Halloween. So we figured there might be something being planned for Halloween. Put it on the radar screen, but didn't really actively move forward with it.
Uh-huh.
So we got the second communication. Second communication was we're going to meet before then at the range to make sure that we're all proficient and how to load and reload on a rapid scale our AK-47s. But when you said that, the radar popped up then.
Yeah.
And here's what the great thing that shows is rather than being reactive like we've been in the past, we're trying to be proactive now. And because we really feel there's a need for it, John, there's more and more threats of major terrorist attacks happening on our soil in this country. And so we moved forward on this. We decided that we would be proactive instead of reactive. I told Fox News National Network when they asked the question, well, did y'all move too quickly? Well, the question would be, I'd much rather be defending whether we moved too quickly than to be having a chat about the hundreds that were killed and why didn't we do enough.
And Michael, if you've not been to Ferndale, I mean, as soon as you hit Ferndale, you're there. It's almost like Boys Town in Chicago. I mean, rainbow flags everywhere, trans flags everywhere. Now, what we've been advised or informed about is that they were going to target the homosexual community. Is that where they were attempting to do this or carry out this attack?
They had a number of proposed locations, but that was number one.
Wow.
That is where they were concentrating on. So we went in on Friday, made the arrest, Now, we didn't charge till Monday, and there's a reason why, because we did interrogations over the weekend. But what did the mainstream media and their defense attorneys jump on? Well, if you didn't know what you were going to charge it for, why'd you arrest them?
Yeah.
This is bogus. They were talking about Pumpkin Day. It was supposed to be a game, internet game. And what's wrong with beating your buddies down at the firing range?
Yeah.
So here's what developed over the weekend to answer those questions that I haven't seen the mainstream media publicize at all. We discovered over the weekend during interrogations that they had a storage facility. And so we raided that storage facility. And what did we find? A cash load of AK-47s. Plenty. I mean, over 1,600 rounds of ammunition. We had, sidearms that were located, tactical vests, tactical gear, etc. Look, I know, sometimes you may not be the smartest people around, but you're not going to the range just buddies just to kind of, make sure you've got a practice firing with that kind of firepower in a storage house. Usually you and I you got your pistol at the house, I got mine, and maybe we have a rifle or two in the house, and we go meet at the range.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any rifles. Hey, Illinois has a law. I have no rifles. I don't know what you're talking about. I lost them in a boating accident somewhere. I don't know what you're talking about, Michael.
Well, I'm talking about you coming to South Carolina and we'll take mine.
Okay. I like that one. But
I got plenty.
But Michael, we often think of ISIS as something over there across the pond.
Correct.
How has that shifted over the past years? Are we facing, they say that white supremacists are the big issue in our country, but are we facing a domestic radicalization problem that our government is not fully admitting to yet?
You are correct. And why are we not admitting to it yet? Well, first of all, we've got to get our handle on it because, quite frankly, when we admit to it, people are going to be asking questions, and they're going to ask a very simple question. So the question you would ask on the air, what are we doing about it? Mm-hmm. And that would be a very sparse response previously. Now you can see this is one of the first times we're being proactive. Yeah, we're catching some flack for it. Kind of like, did you move too quickly? Did you not have everything in place? My answer to that is absolutely not. I'm proud of the FBI for what they did. They made a lot of mistakes in the past, but this one they got right.
Yeah.
They went on ahead and moved forward and being proactive. You said, well, what at the end of the day, the charge doesn't stick? It sent a message.
Yeah.
If nothing else. We are monitoring. We are watching. We're not just going to be complacent. We're not going to go after the fact. We're going to be going after those who are trying to plan these issues. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, to answer your question, is this occurring all across the country? It is. It's amazing to me, John, when you go on TikTok, YouTube, etc., there are over 100 videos from the Islamic, the imams, the Muslim community, stating very clearly what their purpose in America is.
Yeah.
They believe America must become a Muslim country. Well, this is what I tell people, John. Muslims are not a religion, and I know they get shocked at that. It's an ideology.
Yeah.
You see, a religion doesn't tell you, John, if you don't believe what I believe, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
That's not religion.
Yeah.
That's an ideology. That's like communism. Communism, you don't do what we tell you to believe what we tell you to believe, you're going to disappear. Yeah. That's what happens in communist countries.
Yeah.
This is the same principle. And so it's an ideology that is infecting this country. And it must be stopped because this is totally contrary to anything we've ever had this country founded on or the principles that we've lived by. This is not America. If you do that kind of thing, it's not the way it's supposed to be. Sharia law has no place in this country. Now, people get upset with that, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Now, Michael, I believe this happened on yesterday. ICE was in pursuit of somebody that had a warrant out for their arrest, right? And because of them overstaying, I believe they said that she was in the country and she had a right to be in the country because she had a visa or something she had, right?
But it had expired.
Now I want to play the audio. It's like 5 short clips. I'm going to play them all. 6 short clips. I'm going to play them all. And then I have a question for you about the information that DHS and ICE are not providing people like me who are out here defending them. I'm gonna start now.
We had masked ICE agents following a daycare educator into the daycare where there were parents, there were children.
Sadness and fear and helplessness, I think, are the feelings that I've felt throughout the day.
This woman is a trusted, loved member of her community with a work permit.
DHS maintains that teacher, who's from Colombia, is undocumented and alleged that she paid people to bring her 2 teenage children into the country illegally. DHS says agents tried to stop her in her car, but the male driver refused to pull the vehicle over, and they ran into a daycare and attempted to barricade themselves inside.
There is a sign at the door that says this is a business and a private place. They illegally pushed their way into the building. There was no barricading.
Now, Michael, here's my question. Now, you heard the news report saying that DHS has said that she was in this country illegally. Where's that information? Why isn't DHS providing that clear document that says, here, look, no matter what all these other people, the father, the Congressman Quigley, and a few others, aldermen in Chicago, because what's that saying before a lie travels halfway around the world before the truth puts its boots on?
Yes, correct. That's correct.
I don't think DHS, ICE are doing enough of having that information at the ready. Because just because they run into a private business, guess what? Police can still run in there and go after you. That just because they go there doesn't mean anything. Michael, where is the information we needed to be able to push back against the lies that are traveling all the way around the world, Michael?
Well, I am so glad you raised that point, John, because I'm going to bring that up with the secretary.
Yes.
And let me tell you, let me back you up. We had Mondani, who just became the mayor of New York. Unfortunately, he lied on his naturalization papers when he came in.
Mondani did.
Mondani did. Now, you and I know that if I lie on my driver's license, any government form, whatever I'm applying for immediately is terminated because I lied about it. So here is the question. Why was his citizenship not terminated months ago and he was deported? And the reason why is because while Homeland Security knew this, they forwarded the information to the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General's office didn't move on it. Mm. Now, this is what I'm telling the Homeland Security. Why didn't you tell the media? Why was it not publicized? Here is his application. Here are his answers. You can see what he did. Now, what are we going to do about it? Because remember, nobody can be held above the law.
Correct.
I don't care whether you're running for mayor or not. I mean, you should be held accountable. The same situation here. You're not giving out enough information for the American people to understand the urgency of what we're doing. And that's something we're going to need to change, John.
I agree.
It's just what you said about, my goodness, I would think it'd be the exact opposite story. If somebody who is a potential criminal, because why are you running from the law if you're not, if everything is kosher? You run into a daycare, you imagine your first thought should be, are you putting those kids in jeopardy?
Yes.
You should be running in there. I mean, I'm not even so sure I'd be ringing the doorbell. I'd just be hitting that door right through to make sure those kids are safe.
Yes.
That's the message that should be being sent. But we're not doing a very good job of communication. I think you're going to find, you look at what happened in the elections yesterday, and this is what we're going to be talking about on the Hill. We're not doing a very good job of making sure keeping the public aware of what's going on.
Correct. And when I talked to Trump's former communications director, Pfeiffer, I also told him as it relates to information about this shutdown, they're not doing. I don't know what. Listen, you know me. Trump is my president. I will. People say that I'm in a cult. I don't give a damn about any of that because I know this man. I know he loves this country. I know he wants to make this country prosperous. I know he wants to keep this country safe, and that's why I'm looking at these people like the Mondanis, the Ilhan Omars. And these people don't love America. This is why I don't believe a foreign person should serve in any office. Call me radical, call me extreme for having that belief. I don't believe these people love America. Because when you put your hand to the Bible or whatever they put their hand to swear allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of their state, when they come out with these type of socialists, I don't think they adhere to the Constitution, Mike. Why are they even allowed to run for these offices and hold these offices?
Well, what's interesting is we had laws on the books they couldn't. Up until about 10 years ago.
Yes.
And the Democrats are the ones, Schumer and those are the ones that took it off the books.
Yeah.
They didn't have a hearing on it. They didn't, have national news coverage. They just slipped it into a proviso. Nobody knew about it until recently. That removed that provision that they now are allowed to hold public office. We need to put that provision back in our statutes and enforce it.
Yes.
And by the way, I was smiling. I don't care what they call you. I'll tell you what I'm going to call you, John, a great American. But you are exactly right. And my frustration is just what you talked about on the budget issue. We had the perfect opportunity. I was saying this on national news for 2-3 days, and the president picked up on it, and he agreed with me. We had the perfect opportunity to say, look, the Democrats will not move on providing what's needed, and that is to pay our military, our law enforcement, et cetera. So we're just going to go ahead and do what's necessary. We're going to exercise what we call the nuclear option. We're going to break the filibuster, change the rules, and pass it. They could have done it immediately.
Do it.
The president said, hey, y'all need to be doing that. And then what did Congress do? John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, and even the Speaker of the House, no, that's not a good idea.
Yes,
You didn't hear any more out of it. Yeah. And I told the White House what they should have done. The president said, we're not going to hear any more out of it. I'm going to stand here behind this pulpit for the rest of the day until we get some action done.
Yep.
That's the kind of action that we need. And I think that's what happened in the election. A lot of the conservatives said, you know what? Are we really going to get anything done? I think I'll just stay home. Yeah. And that was a big mistake.
That's it. And, if what I think is true, excuse me, if I think was true, that Schumer and all these people are holding up this budget the CR being passed because they wanted to see their base get out. Because if Schumer had allowed those Senate Democrats to vote for that CR and none of that changed, I don't think his base would have come out. Is that some of the stuff that's percolating around D.C.?
That's exactly what's being said. In fact, they have said that either the next few days you're going to see the Democrats be in favor of the CR. Now, what they are going to try to do is, hey, we just demonstrated our power to you by what we did on Tuesday, so we're going to get something. We may not get $1.5 trillion added back to that CR, but you're going to give us something, and we're going to get this thing passed. It'd be tragic if we did, because we certainly don't need any more debt. But they now have a little bit of a gloat, shall we say.
Yeah.
They think they've done a little something, and they're going to use that pressure. And this is what I tell, finally on this issue, what I tell people, what I tell the White House. I know everybody's scared. Well, if we do it, they're going to do it against us down the road. Folks, they're going to do everything they can against you down the road. It doesn't make any difference what you do or don't do. So do what's best for the American people, and don't worry about the consequences. Don't worry about re-election.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, I'm sure James Comey is, I'm going to play a quick audio. He's laughing and joking and thinking this is funny, but I'm sure this is going to come back and bite him in the you-know-what.
Look at this White House now, and it's hard to imagine 2 FBI agents ending up in the same room. How did that happen?
I sent them. Something I probably wouldn't have done or maybe gotten away with in a more organized investigation, a more organized administration in the George W. Bush.
That's going to come back to bite him, isn't it, Michael?
Oh, there's no question. That's one of many things. I think, Comey understands now that he's been made aware of all your former statements are going to come back to haunt you. And this is not child's play like you think it is. He is banking on the fact that if we can make the administration look bad, people don't want to make it look like it's political retribution, that he'll get off. This is not retribution, folks. This is accountability. There's a big difference.
And Michael, who's next? Who's next in the indictment? And why haven't they dragged Ray and all of these people, Rothenstein, whatever his name is? Why haven't they dragged them out in an open door session so that we can hear them either take the fifth or lie?
Well, and it's a great question. This is one of the things that we're going back and forth on, and I've got a very strong opinion on. I got those inside the administration who feel differently. But quite frankly, I think what you saw yesterday is people said, you've been doing a great job of identifying crime. You did nothing about it. You haven't really fulfilled. Where are the indictments? To answer your question, Brennan and Ray are on the list. Brennan should be next, Joseph Clapper, and a few others, Rice. But it's going to go all the way to the top. Now, that's where we have the evidence of.
Yeah. My
question is do we have members of the administration? This is where it's getting kind of dicey, shall we say, John? Yeah. We have members of the administration that are just dragging their feet and are not up for the fight. And I'm just kind of hoping this will drag itself out to where it either loses by, running out of time, or there's a new administration that comes in down the road. We need to start replacing some people. If you can't do the job, John, you need to step aside. Somebody else needs to come to do that.
And we got about a minute left, but that's my final question. Does Trump have enemies within his camp that he needs to purge? Because the mission, the vision of what President Trump is trying to do to this country needs to get done, because we have a country to save, Michael.
That's exactly right. And here, I've been very vocal. I know some of them don't care for what I'm having to say. But two things real quickly. You cannot make statements that, we're going to tear them apart and then not deliver.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, do it. If not, then just tell the people, I lied to you. We're not going to do anything about it. And I'm not going to run again.
Right.
Second thing is you cannot criticize previous office holders or previous administration people and then do the same thing yourself.
Wow.
It does not work, never has, never will. And my point to him is, if that's the way you're going to operate, do the president a favor. You're hurting him. Resign.
Yeah. And, Michael, we got about 40 seconds left now. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Invest USA. Where can people go to help law enforcement officers get bulletproof vests and protective gear?
If they go to our website, investusa.org, they can stay abreast of everything that's going on. They can make contributions. And let me put in one quick plug. The Southern cartels have now put a $10,000 per head bounty on ICE agents and other law enforcement officers in this country. They need protection more now than they've ever needed it. Please make sure you show them that you support them, that you back them, and that we're united together to bring justice back to this country.
Michael Letts, founder, president, and CEO of Invest USA. Thank you, my brother, for joining us today.
Thank you, John. God bless. God bless America. Have a great day, Detroit.
You too. God bless you. We'll be right back.